George Badanek built, Muir designed, GRP aft wheelhouse Tasmanian crayfishing vessel. It has been converted to some degree, and today we're going to walk you on board and have a look around. As you can see, we've got an enormous foredeck, and we've got holds here, well, freezer room, storage room, and also cargo as well. Massive bulwarks, massive stainless rails, huge commercial construction. If you're on this boat, there's no like this to carry crayfish and to carry the crew without falling overboard down the west coast of Tasmania. Moving forward, we've got foredeck, air into the front cabin, massive hydraulic anchor winch, 120 metres of 16mm chain. All of this is to survey. AMSA approved, and it's just gone through a survey yesterday with AMSA where there's nil defects. We'll come back to these areas later and go down inside and see what you did as a workboat. But we'll just walk down the sides here. Wide side decks, sensibly hot sized rails. Here we go into a shower and toilet at deck level. Moving further aft, you've got a multi-hull tender there with an 8 horsepower that'll get up on the plane, and you've got your tender lift at the back there. Just while we're here, you can see that you've got all your firefighting and bilge work, you've got your breathers, and just on this side of the boat, on the port hand, we've got what's known as a wing. Now this wing is deployed, and this is what stabilises the boat when you're underway and also at rest, and that's operated from here. This is a Tasmanian idea, and it's attached to the boat, and you can travel with it in the water, without in the water. Stabilises you at rest and underway. Moving across to the other side, under here we've got a 500 kg hydraulic lift winch. Now this would be ideal for pulling tenders aboard. We've also got another, and that's 500 safe working load, which means you can probably get up to a tonne on that. And then you've got another winch here, also 500 kgs for bringing a tender aboard or bringing cargo aboard. That's rated at 500 kg, which means it'll lift 2 tonnes, so it'll safely lift 1 tonne. Moving aft, we step up onto the poop. Everywhere we go you can see solid rails at the right height, air into the back cabin. Also note the massive bollards and mooring bits, and once again heavy duty stainless rails. Moving into the wheelhouse, we've got full electronic controls, every navigation device known to man. You'll notice here that we step over a storm board there, permanent storm board, because this boat has been fishing the west coast of Tasmania, so that any water that gets in here doesn't go below. Full galley, 4-burner stove, lots of storage, lots of fresh air, beautifully finished, serious sea boat. We come around here, this also doubles as a berth, and navigation table here. You could put the boat on autopilot and rest here, or put your head down here. Ideal little navigation look. Going below, once again, another storm board to step over. We come down to a very comfortable double. Single on the other side. All of this timber work here that you see is new. We've got ventilation out through the back. Excellent lighting throughout, though it's fully air conditioned. Stepping down into this area, we've got washing machine, dryer, sink and shower. It wouldn't be that hard to reconfigure this to where you had a toilet in this area here without losing your washing machine dryer, and that would seal off across there. Okay, we move out of the aft cabin into the engine room. This really is the office or the business end of the whole boat. This is a 13.1 litre Yanmar diesel, 350 horsepower, and it cruises at 1300 revs, burning an amazing 14 litres an hour. That comes from good hull design and good engineering and a hull that has good water flow, and that's been confirmed over many years of use. 14 litres an hour, almost unheard of. We come forward here, these two pumps here and this pumping system here, this is what pumps the holds dry. That can pump 48 tonne an hour, and we can empty the hold there from completely empty in 12 minutes. The bilges are nothing short of immaculate and dry. Everything about this engine and the systems is accessible. We've got a wet exhaust over there. Over here we've got a Mace genset, and then on this side a smaller Mace genset. Over here we've got the hydraulic tank and the hydraulics. Since this boat's been purchased, there's more air coming in for Queensland and tropical areas, so more air in, more air out than what it had when it was operating down in Tasmania. The boat is set up with 7,600 litres of fuel. These tanks run from the engine room all the way forward past the hold as wing tanks, one on each side, water tanks aft and then water tanks forward. Now, by keeping the tanks low in the boat, that's what gives us an amazing 70 degrees of righting moment, meaning we can lay the boat almost down on its side and it will still come back. That's exceptional for a boat that draws 5'6". Standing outside the door, you'll notice that we've got full walk around and shade in this area of the boat, so if it's raining we can have this door open and you don't get wet. We're going down into the forecastle now. Down here we've got 3 bunks, another shower and access here. Later on we're going to talk about, when we get down into the cargo hold area, about that if that was turned into accommodation and another saloon and more bunks. We're going to talk about cutting a door in through here so you can come from that space through into here without going out on deck. This is a commercial idea where to come forward you normally come down what's called a scuttle, and I quite like that idea, but there is scope to cut a door there if you wish. So I'm currently down in the freezer room, and as you can see I've got headroom above me, and that can be cut out, that can go all the way up there. That's the bulkhead that can be cut through. I've got tons of headroom here, and if I'm standing under here it gets up to about 8 feet. So from this bulkhead here, we're going to take a measurement later on down to the aft forward engine room bulkhead, and that will give us an idea how much room we can fit out. While we're in here, these areas here would go, and that would open up right out under the side decks for accommodation, shower and toilet, another cabin, another sleeping area, etc. Here we have the well, what's known as the wet well. There's bulkheads in here that unbolt. So this area would be easily stripped out because it's only under the current ownership that that bulkhead was fitted and that bulkhead was fitted, and they unbolt. Just while we're talking about conversion, if we were going to do the conversion and we needed to get down into the boat, down into our converted area, which is approximately 5 metres long, we would put a scuttle just here, same as the one on the foredeck, where you step into it and down you go, a couple of steps that way and down you go, and you're into this enormous area in the middle of the ship. So this area is, give or take a little, 5.3 metres long. You can go almost the full width of the ship if we take in the tanks. So our width would be about 3.5 metres. Plus, on top of that, you'd go out on top of the tanks, which gives you more width again. So it's an enormous area that could be turned into a saloon, another sleeping bunk or cabin, and a shower and toilet, and then we can cut through into the front cabin. Now we're just about to hop down into the second well area, which at the moment is dry, and this is another area that could be converted into accommodation. So essentially we have 3 areas. The bulkhead goes right in under there. As you can see, I can stand up here, and if we went out here and kept this just with portholes in it, this would be about 8 foot headroom. This area of the boat would be full width all the way across, with wing tanks at about that height. So we would get a large saloon in here, another sleeping cabin and another shower and toilet in these 3 separate compartments. As you can see, these mainly unbolt, and we've got tons of headroom, tons of area, just be an ideal accommodation area. Hi Andrew, I hope we've covered you there with all your questions and given you some idea of the scope of what you can do, also the durability of the hull, the condition and the presentation of the vessel, and I hope from this we can go forward and see if anything else comes of this.